Hold up. This is the playlist live
My name's Kalisha.
with Kalisha. Tap in, tap in, tap in.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Playlist. I'm excited for this one today. I have a very special guest joining me today, and her name is often mispronounced, so I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself. Today joining us, we got...
Bjrnck.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I've been watching your journey through your music since I was first introduced to you.
Yes.
You're in the studio with Ruby and Jay, and kind of like, who is that? He's like, man, listen, she's this dope artist. Her voice is so crazy. You got to listen to her. And I was like, okay. And then I forgot how we met initially, but I finally met you and I heard the music.
I think we went out. Like,
we
was
did.
turning up.
Chris Brown's birthday party.
Yes,
that's what it was. Chris Brown's birthday party.
Yes.
We were listening to
The
music that you
album,
have come in, the
yes.
album that you have come. We're gonna get into that.
Yes.
That you have coming very soon. And I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And you were then trying to figure out what your single was gonna be.
Yes.
And that is Thug Cry.
Yeah.
So we gonna get into that a little later. But first, I want to talk about your name because that's often mispronounced.
Always.
And that's your real name, right?
Yes, it's my real name. It's my last name.
Oh.
My dad is German.
Uh-huh.
So honestly, growing up, everybody messed up my name. And I was just like, you know what? I'm about to take this back. People used to call me Brunswick, Brodnick, all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Let me take that back. People are going to be screaming my name.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Let me turn this around.
Yeah. So what is your first name?
My first name is Janae.
Oh, that's
Yes,
beautiful.
Janae, right?
That's beautiful.
But then Janae Aiko came out, and I
Exactly.
was like, damn, girl.
Why you gotta take my name? But I think that's dope that you decided to go with something different.
Yes.
And that is your real last name.
Yeah.
Is there a meaning?
Honestly,
your
I
last name?
don't think there is a
Uh-huh.
meaning to the last name. It's just German.
Do you speak German?
I don't.
What?
I know how to speak like my numbers a little bit. I know people always ask me. I'm like, I got to do better. Because low-key a lot when I look at like my streaming, like where like it's most lit,
Yeah.
in what cities and countries, it's like Germany is one of them.
Really?
Really overseas is like
That's
my music is big over
yeah.
there.
That's awesome. So do you have any plans of like going and performing in Germany?
Yes, I
anytime
can't wait
soon?
till I do that. I haven't got any bookings yet,
Uh-huh.
but I'm sure once I drop like
Yeah.
more music and everything, I like things are open back up. So
Mhm.
like I'm about to be touring everywhere.
I know. Speaking of things opening back up, we got the new Omicron coming out, and I'm hearing of things shutting down again. Everyone's calling it
Yes.
Omarion, but no shade to you, Omarion. But people is making fun of the new variant. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like it stopped a lot of stuff for you as you were coming out and dropping stuff?
Honestly, I was still outside. Like, I mean, I wasn't outside, but I was outside. Like,
Yeah.
I shot 2 music videos.
Mhm.
My first 2 music videos were shot during COVID.
You did, right?
Yeah, and then Thug Cry was also shot during COVID.
Holy shit.
And I've been blessed enough to keep the train moving. I feel like being able to be inside and really focus on my craft and like
Mhm.
lock in on that helped me during
Mhm.
like that time of like you had nothing to do but better yourself. If
Yeah.
you didn't better yourself during COVID, it's like, what was you
Exactly.
doing?
Exactly. What was you doing? So your nationality. I want to talk about that. So you already said you're German. So what's the other half?
I'm a lot of things. So my dad's actually half German and half Mexican.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of crazy.
That's why
Like
you're so
all my
exotic.
yes, all my grandparents are from different countries, which is pretty cool. My
Wow.
grandmother's from Mexico, grandfather is from Germany, and then on my mom's side, my grandmother is from Belize,
Oh wow.
and then my grandfather is from he's from like Louisiana, so
Okay.
he's just from America. But
okay.
everybody,
So have you spent time in any of those other countries?
Yes, when I was younger, I used to go to Belize all the time. Like I'm very in touch with like my Caribbean side of the family, my Belizean side. So yeah, I used to go there all the time. I haven't visited Germany yet.
Okay.
Been to Mexico.
Yeah.
So
I love it. All these ethnicities. I'm Greek and Sri Lankan. Everyone thinks I'm
I would have
Latina.
never
Yeah.
thought that. Wait, you're not
Mhm.
Hispanic.
Not Hispanic. I'm not
Wow.
light skinned. I'm not.
That's crazy. I did not even
Yeah.
wow.
So it's dope I was, the guest that I had on yesterday, he's also like multiracial. So we really got into the conversation of, do you think that your nationality and your culture really shapes who you are as a person? Because I feel like multicultural people, they have different values.
Yes.
So do you feel like that has impacted you as a person, as an artist?
I definitely think so. Like the music, growing up, like being able to hear all these different sounds and cultures in the music definitely shaped like the sounds that I choose now when I'm making my music. And I'm like, Belize is like Caribbean music, so you want to dance. So like
Yeah.
I'm like, when I hear the beats, I'm like, but this doesn't make me feel like that. Or yeah, I think that it definitely shapes me.
For sure. Are you a dancer? Can you dance? Or do
Yes,
anything?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
A little bachata, merengue. That's dope. Have you ever been to what are they called? The Caribbean. I'm blanking on the name.
Like a dance hall party?
Yeah, like a dance hall party. Yes.
Shaba. Have you ever been to
No.
Shaba?
No.
No?
What is
Okay,
that?
they stopped it. It's this party in LA that they do like once a month. And it's Shaba, like Rihanna goes, Drake goes. But it's like there's
Really?
no sections or anything.
Uh-huh.
It's like a hole in the wall spot, and people come, and it's like dancing, sweaty, sexy, like vibe. It's like
Ooh.
real dance hall, and it's authentic. Like it's no one really
That's
knows about it. It's
dope.
low key, but it's super dope.
That's dope. So I think that's dope that they have stuff like that here in LA.
Yes.
Because it's a very like New York thing.
I would say it's the best party in LA because it is very New York vibe, and it just
Mhm.
feels real. It doesn't feel like
And the fact that the industry is like involved in it, because it can be very. The
Yes.
fact you said there's no sections, there's no bottle service, this
Yes.
that, like everyone's together. If you go to a party in LA, there's
It's not like
sections,
that.
no one's dancing,
looking at each
it's-
other, taking
Yeah,
pictures.
exactly. Being like, oh, I don't know who you are. Who are you?
Yeah,
What do you do?
what's your follower count?
Exactly. So with that being said, what would be something that like you would want to change about the industry?
Honestly, if I could change anything about the industry, it's like the honesty. I feel like people, if you just from the gate, like obviously in anything you do, when you're starting a relationship, everybody wants something out of it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with wanting something out of something.
Right.
But I think that people use their positions on people who don't know enough.
Yeah.
And take advantage of things. And I feel like if you're just honest from the gate, like, look, this is what you're getting, this is what I want, and in the end you're gonna get this. Like, and that's what the return is.
Yeah.
I think so many people sign messed up contracts and they don't know enough about the industry. Just be honest with these kids. Just be honest, and good things will come back to you. Because in the end, like a Meg Thee Stallion situation or anybody, it's like now you done messed up and she don't even want to mess with you. Like you could have been riding with this person the whole time if you was just honest.
Yeah, I want to hear like more of the other side too, because there's always two sides.
Why do they do it?
Exactly. Like I want to know like the details of like what do these contracts mean and why have they constructed them this way? Like why?
I think okay, because back in the day things used to be different. Like streaming also messed up things.
Right.
So they were able to eat in certain areas, they can't really make money off that. So it's like now we have to take from everything because social media, because you can blow up on social media, and if I only make money from your music and you don't stream that well, but you're popping on Instagram, I'm not making any money off of that. So I get both sides, and there's nothing wrong. Like I said, just be honest though.
Yeah, exactly. Explain it or allow them to understand like what
they're getting themselves into.
Going
yes,
on.
exactly.
No, for sure. And no, I agree, because you could turn around and say, hey, I'm exclusively releasing this music on Instagram, and they can't do nothing about it. They can do nothing about it. And you're making, all this money off branding and this and that. So speaking about dropping music, I got the pleasure to hear the album. Okay, y'all. I got the pleasure to hear it. And I remember, like we mentioned earlier, picking your single and, wanting to know which one it was going to be, and like going to like you had that small little intimate listening party.
Yes.
And I got to hear all of it. So when do we get to go stream that?
That is the question of the day,
Yes,
sis. The question of the year. Question of
stream
2021. So currently, my album is done. My debut album is done. Just trying to figure out, getting all the pieces to that. It's so much that goes into an album that people don't even know. Like people on the outside, like, girl, you've been doing music. Even family, they don't really understand like what you go through. It's like I've been working. They're like, you've been working on this for 5 years. I'm like, I have, but trust me, when it comes, it's gonna be so much greater. And I'm just waiting on the right, perfect. I've been waiting this long. I'm like, I need to make sure all my ducks is in a row and everything is the way that it needs to be. So in the meantime, though, I've been working on a project, a little EP called She Mix.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, you remember Tory Lane's Chicks Tapes?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So it's like a vibe like that, but like the girl version of it. So it's going to have like 7 songs, and I'm going to drop it next month in January, top of the year.
Do we have any cool features?
Cool features? I can't tell the features yet.
But we got some on
Yes,
there.
but we have some features on there. But it's super dope. Like I grew up on old school R&B. Like that's where I got my my juice from,
For
my swag
sure.
from. So being able to like kind of pay homage to that and redo the songs that like I grew up on is just fire.
That's dope. So did you pull any of the stuff that's supposed to be on the album to put it on there? Or it's completely
It's completely
new?
new.
Oh my gosh.
It's completely new. I'm
That's
like, you know
dope.
what? I'm gonna just push that. That music can live for a long time. Let me
Mhm.
give people, because I'm so tired of waiting. I'm like, I need to give the people something. I need to
No,
put
like I was
something
telling
out.
you off camera, like when you were doing shows, I was like, oh shit, like I'm
It's
gonna go
something's
stream
coming
her
up,
music,
yeah.
and I'm like, Thug I've heard
It's
this song
not
100 times.
Yes.
No, but your music is amazing. So I want to talk about Thug Cry real quick. So when you released that, I know you were really excited about that being the single.
Yes.
Once you dropped it, were you like, damn, I wish I would have put out a different song, or are you still like happy with that being the single?
You know, honestly, I originally so I like the underground shit. Like I like, super vibey stuff. So that wasn't my number one choice. That's the honest answer. That wasn't my
okay.
number one choice. It was something else, but it wasn't something that I felt my team around me didn't feel that was something that the world could gravitate to.
Right.
And I understood that because it was very it was a specific crowd that I was catering to in the song that I wanted to drop. But I think it's important to trust your team because I was new into getting new management. I'm managed by Sal and Co now, and like everyone else who's involved in my team. And it was new. So I was like, you know what? Let me trust the people that are around me and listen to my team because I'm always trying to drive the ship and I never listen to anybody.
Right.
So I was like, I got this team for a reason. They know what they're doing. And I listened to them. And honestly, it was a great turnout. Like, I'm not mad at what happened. I'm not mad at the results. Everything is great. The videos was awesome. So yeah.
Yeah. I like that. And so the song really talks about like relationships and pretty much making like a hard dude that's all hard, like, crying, like, ending the relationship. So is that like something personal?
Yes, for sure. So I feel like if a guy doesn't cry for me, I just feel like he doesn't love me for real. Like, if you don't shed a tear for me, do you really love me?
Right.
I don't know. I don't think so. So, as girls, like, we might try to be dramatic or extreme to get a reaction because it's sometimes guys be trying to act all hard and they don't want to really show them real self. So, I got my stuff and I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm out of the relationship. I'm really done this time. And that was the first time that he finally was like broke down and cried and asked me to stay with him. So I'm like, you know what? That's what you got to do. That is the secret
Show me
weapon.
You love me.
And once they cry, they're not gonna let you go because they don't want you to tell nobody else they cry.
Exactly. They not going nowhere.
That's how you know.
Right.
Exactly.
So, with that being said, this relationship did you publicize that? How do you feel about like publicizing your relationship like on social media, with social media being so big nowadays?
My last relationship was publicized. And he was in my video. He was in my first music video, and it was kind of intense because our relationship was very intertwined. And honestly, I don't know if I'll do that again, but I'm also just like low-key a little toxic and crazy. So it's probably gonna end up in the same situation, but hopefully the next one sticks around.
So how was he? I don't know if I saw the one that he was. Which one was he?
He was in a song called Real.
Oh, that was who he was.
Yes.
Are you guys still friends? Or?
I don't think it's any bad blood. The whole album is low-key a diss album, but he's made diss
Summer Walker vibes.
He's made diss songs too, so it's okay. But I think I have no hard feelings and things just sometimes just not meant to be.
Well, I gave you numbers, girl. Okay, because I was looking at your wrap up streams on Spotify. You posted them, and you like tripled what you did last year. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, it's surreal. Like when somebody from my team just sent me a paper that we had wrote down like all my followers and stuff. I had like 400 monthly listeners on Spotify. I had 10,000 followers in 2020, and I have almost 40,000 followers. I have 150,000 monthly listeners. And I think it's kind of crazy. I think that showed me like when you're consistent and when you're really like doing it and living in it, that it's only going to get better. Like, I know sometimes looking on the outside or when you're in it, it's kind of hard to see like, okay, where have I gone? But those things, like, shout out to Spotify and Apple and everyone who does the yearly thing, because it's like that keeps us motivated as artists. To be like, you know what, this is where I was, but I made progress, even if you didn't drop.
So you've been doing a lot of shows, like going from city to city, Lollapalooza. You opened up for Blast. You opened up for so many people. Do you see yourself next year like going on your own tour?
Yes, definitely. I want to go on someone else's tour as well as do my own tour. I want to do both. I think like this was the first year. This is crazy. My first show this year was Lala, and like transparently,
that's huge.
my first show this year was Lala, and
That's
transparently
huge.
I only got like $500, and before that I did shows here and there, and I didn't even get paid. I was doing free shows. Every show since Lala has been paid over 3 bands, like which is like, you know, you go from, I was like, dang, I'm only getting $500, but I heard a story about Chance that his first time he got $500, and then his second time he was headlining and got like millions. Wow. So I was like, that's a crazy perspective to even think about. Like we're just talking about growth.
Yeah, but even just to do a show in your own city in a huge festival at that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like all my friends were like, dang, you doing Lala? Like all my back home friends were just like, that's huge. And even like this Saturday, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Big Jam, but I'm doing Big Jam. It's like GCI in Chicago, their big like concert with Lil Baby. And my city really, shout out to Johnny D and Troy Marshall, they really support me in my city. Like they make sure any show that's big that I can be on, they're like, oh, Bjrnck.
Yeah.
So
that's dope. Speaking of support, you know, being a female artist in this industry, you know, female rappers are also like breaking out into it, and you know, female singers were getting a lot of more support. But do you feel like females in the industry that do the same thing as you, that they support each other the way that they should?
I think it more now than ever, to be honest. I feel like Bad Bitches Link Up is like seriously a thing right now, you know, like even me having a friend like Ruby, where we're not necessarily in the same, you know, lane, but you know, anything I do, she'll repost, and I do vice versa. I think it's just like friends are so important, especially girlfriends are so important to have in the industry. And even like a Dreezy, she's super, like somebody I'm super close to. I think it's important to share the same, like people, to have close relationships with people who share the same interests as you.
Yeah, no, that's dope, because I feel like, I'm glad you feel that way, because you know, some women that I talk to, they're like, man, it's just these girls are so catty, and you know, they want to be the superstar, and they don't want, you know, someone to surpass them. That happens a lot with like, you know, artists that sign other artists, right? They want to be the bigger star. They don't want them to get bigger than who they are.
Never sign to an artist. I think that never signed to an artist. That's something everyone should know.
Right. And I remember watching an interview, and then Trey Songz talked about it, where, you know, Drake wanted to sign to him. And then, you know, there was, you know, this rumor, Drake said in a song where he said that some girl told him, well, you'll never be, you know, bigger than, you know, Trey Songz. And now look at Drake. He is like artist of the decade. This year he was named artist of the decade. So I think that's very true. Like, that women are now supporting each other more than ever, but signing to an artist
is like the wrong decision. Yes, I think
that
too. Like, I don't know. There might be some shade out there that I don't know about. I think I just personally, I stick to myself, and I like, you know, I treat people accordingly.
So when deciding like who you're gonna keep in your circle, because you know, being at the level that you are, people sometimes just want to be attached to you because of your name, who you're associated with. Like, how do you like feel people's vibes out? Say, you know, this person's actually cool, whether it's male or female, and like, I want to bring them out with me.
Yeah, my discernment is pretty good. I'm honestly like, my mom is one of those people who befriends everybody, and I'm like, you know, she picks up strays. We tell her all the time, you pick up strays, mother. So I kind of have that trait where I'm super nice to people initially, and then, you know, once the first weird thing happens and I'm like, okay, I see who you are as a person, I may not hang out with you again or go out with you, but I've been blessed enough. God has put me around the right people to have like great experiences.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that if I feel your vibe is off and we've been cool, I'm not gonna, you know, talk to you about it. You know,
we're
I'm
just gonna
separate myself a little bit, and okay, this is the person who I'm gonna like go out with. Okay, this is the person I'm gonna tell everything to.
Exactly.
And you know, this person we just gonna keep cool from a distance.
Exactly.
Right. And with, you know, with 2020 ending, we going into 2020. What am I saying? 2021. Oh my goodness. 2021 ending, going into 2022. Right? You gotta shut that dead weight off.
Yes.
You really do. You gotta shut it off and just know who you're gonna keep around and who you're not, making you goals. So So what are some of your goals that you have for 2022?
Definitely number 1, drop this project.
Yes, can't wait.
Number 2, I definitely, like we were talking about, going on tour.
Mhm.
That's something I really want to do, and I want to get into like some acting and
Ooh,
like
that'd
the
be cool.
branding stuff.
I think
Like
you'd be
I
dope with
think
that.
I'm pretty,
Yes, you
I have a great
are.
personality.
Yeah.
So I think I definitely want to get into some acting next year.
Yeah. I want to get into, I think you made a video, and I don't know if this was just a TikTok video or it was something that you actually get in your DMs. It was like, Bjrnck, why do you show your body off so much? Is that something you just found on TikTok, or is that
No,
something
that was
that you
something that
really...
I made. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about that. Like, people that are in your DMs telling you this, and like what your feelings are behind that.
I didn't even realize subconsciously how much it did affect me, but like somebody said something like, stop dropping that ass and drop some music. And I was
Wow.
like, dang, that was shady. And low-key, I haven't posted like any like
Booty,
pictures since then.
yeah.
I'm like, I need to drop something with music. But honestly, I don't care. Like, I love showing my body off.
Yeah,
I
you
work
got a nice
very
body, okay?
hard. I work
Period.
very hard on this. I
Yes.
go to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week. So I
Yes.
feel like, you know what, bitch? Show it off. Take the
Mm,
clothes off. Be see-through. Like, be naked.
exactly.
I don't care.
And it looks, you wear it well. When
Thank
you do
you.
it, it doesn't look like you're
Thotty,
being,
yeah.
thotty or raunchy or whatever. It
It's
looks
just a part
good.
of my aesthetic, yeah.
Exactly. It's part of your brand. You wear, you rock it. It's not like you go outside. Like right now, like you're dressed beautifully.
Yes.
It's not like you're showing up with booty out and see-through. You're an artist. So that's part of your brand. That's how you show up. That's how you perform. That's what your fans like. So I think
Exactly.
personally, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think if it fits, sis, wear it, live it, love it, and don't listen to what
So
anybody got
I
to
want
say.
you to talk to the ladies real quick that, probably deal with that stuff on social media, or deal with haters, or, deal with, catty women. Like, what would your piece of advice be to them?
My piece of advice is fuck them. Look good, live good, stay blessed, and fuck them. Don't care.
Yes.
They don't got shit on you.
Period. Y'all heard that, okay? So thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank
talked
you.
about music coming. We talked about, relationships. We talked about your goals for next year, touring, new music dropping. So y'all got to stay tuned for that. But I just want to say, like, you are incredibly talented.
Thank you, baby.
You really are. Like, your voice is amazing. And so that's something I was talking to somebody about. Nowadays, it's not really about talent anymore. It's about numbers.
Yes.
It's really about numbers, but you got both, okay? You got numbers and the talent. So I'm just so excited to see next year and your tour. Make sure that you got a ticket for me.
Yes,
okay?
of course.
Because I want to come through, whether I got to fly to Chicago or wherever I got to fly, okay? But definitely need to do an LA date. And then I want people opening up for you, okay?
Can't wait.
That's what I want to see you do. I'm so excited for you. And again, thank you. You guys, Bjrnck joined us on the playlist. I'm so excited. Make sure you guys tune into the next show. My name's Kalisha, and that's a wrap.
Bye.